Good morning to all. Myself, Manoj Kumar Bundela, Assistant Professor, Suresh Gyan Vihar University, Jaipur. So today we will discuss the methods of seed treatment. So what is seed treatment? Chemical or biological substance that are applied to seed or the vegetative propagation material to control the disease, organisms, insects, or the other pests. The seed treatment pesticides includes bactericides, fungicides, insecticides, and herbicide antidotes. So normally seed treatment means normally why we go for seed treatment we to control the disease organisms, insects and pest. To control that normally we will go for seed treatment. So seed treatment normally we will do with the fungicides, pesticides, bactericides and insecticide and herbicides. So this you can see the treated seeds. Historical aspects. The earliest reported use of seed treatment dates back to 60 AD when wine and crushed cypress leaves were used to protect the seeds from the storage insect. So in 60 AD, the cypress leaves is used cypress leaves is used as a seed treatment. It will use for the treatment of the seeds to control the storage insects. In 1807, the Swiss scientist Prevost showed that the treating smut spots with a liquid solution of copper sulfate inhibit their germination. The Swiss scientist what he told that if we treat the smut spots with liquid solution of copper sulfate, it will inhibit the germination. Advantage of seed treatment: it will prevent the plant disease. So we know if we go for seed treatment, it will control the plant disease, protect the seeds from the seed rot and seedling blight. So if you go for seed treatment, it will protect the seeds from the rotting. Sometimes what will happen, the rottings will be occurs when we sow the seeds, and sometimes the seedlings blight means the seedlings will start germinate, and after some time it will fall down. So it will control the rotting and blight. Improve the germination. If you go for seed treatment, it will improve the germination percentage. Provide the protection from the storage insect. So sometimes when we store the seeds for a longer period of the time, that time if we keep the seeds and then if we store the seeds, so we can store them for the longer period of the time. Control the soil insects. Sometimes some insects, eggs, larvae, they are present inside the soil and they will cause the soil-borne disease. So in that, if we go for treatment like damping off is the major problem in solanaceous vegetables when we go for preparation of nursery. So if we go for treatment of the seeds with fungicides, so we can control the damping of disease. So these are the major advantages of seed treatment. Disadvantage: accidental exposure of workers who produce or apply the seed treatment. So if any workers who is going for the seed treatment, so it will have the side effect on that. Contamination of the food supply by accidental mixing of treated seeds with the food or feed grain. So sometimes what we have to do, we have to go for seed treatment that time. Some seeds we have to keep for the feed purpose and some seeds we have to use for the germination purpose. So whatever seeds we are using for the storage purpose, if that seeds we have to go for seed treatment, if that seeds will mix to the food grains, so it will cause the accidental contamination of environmental through the improper handling of treated seeds or seed treatment chemicals. So sometimes what will happen after the treatment of the seeds, we will not handle the seeds properly, or The seed treatment chemicals, whatever the chemicals that we are using for the seed treatments, we not handle them properly. Due to that, there is a environmental. It will go to the environment and it will affect the environment. All of these risks can be minimized by the proper training and proper use of seed treatment pesticides. So these are the accidental like workers, it will affect to the workers. Sometimes it will enter into the food grains also. Sometimes it will not handle the heat treatment chemicals, so it will cause the damage. So in that condition, what we have to do, we have to give the proper training and proper use of seed treatment to the seed treatment pesticides. We have to tell the workers and we have to give the training to the workers. Equipments used for the seed treatment. So first one is drum mixer, direct treater we can use, slurry treater we can use, grain auger we can use, and shovel we can use. So these are the different equipments we can use for the seed treatment. Drum mixer. This equipment is used for the different kind of seed with chemicals in powder form. So drum mixer is normally used for the different type of seeds, and normally we can use the chemicals we use in a powder form. The seed treatment drum is made up of angle iron frame or GI sheet made drum. It is made by the galvanized seeds, and it is the drum is made of angles. In one batch, 10 to 15 kg seeds can be treated with chemical. In one batch, we can take the 10 to 15 kg seeds. So this is the drum mixer. This is the drum. Inside drum, it is normally we use the powder form chemicals which are available in powder form. So we have to keep the seeds in this drum. Then we have to give the what powder in this, and then we will rotate it. But when we rotate it, thus it will be seed treatment will be done. Next is slurry treaters. The slurry treatment principle involves the suspension of wettable powder treatment material in water. A treatment material applied as a slurry is accurately metered through a simple mechanism composed of slurry cup and seed drum pen. It is made up of the two things are there. One is slurry cup is there, and second one is seed drum pen is there. The cup introduces a given amount of slurry. With the cup, how much amount of slurry is required for the treatment, that much slurry will be come into the drum, and with each drum of seeds into a mixing where the seeds are mixed thoroughly. The slurry means in that drum is there. In drum we have to keep the seeds, and according to the requirements, the slurry will come. Slurry from the slurry cup, the slurry will come into that tub, and then we will mix that. The slurry treaters are adaptable to all types of seeds. The slurry treater is normally used for the all type of seeds and the rest of seed treatment. So this is the slurry treater. So slurry treater have two things. So this is the drum is there, and this is the cap is there. From this cup, slurry cup, it will enter into this how much slurry is required, and then we will mix it, and the seed treatment will be done. This is called as slurry treater. Next is direct treaters. The direct treaters are the most recent development and includes the pathogen and mist o-matic treaters. It is a most recent developed. Most recently it is used. Mist-o-metric treatise is being used more widely. Mist-o-metric treatise normally it is used most widely. The mist-o-metric treatise applies chemicals as a mist directly to the seed. The treater is equipped with a large treatment tank, a pump, and a return that maintain the level in the small reservoir from which the seed is fed. Next is grain agar. The liquid material can be dripped on the seeds as they enter a grain agar. By the time the seed have left the agar and the chemical is sprayed on the seed. When this liquid materials can be dipped into the seeds and enter into the agar by the time. Next is soil. The seeds are spread on a clay dry surface 10 to 15 centimeter in depth. The proper amount of chemical is diluted with the water and the sprinkled over the seed. Seeds are spread on the clean dry surface 10 to 15 centimeter depth. The proper amount of chemical is diluted with the water and sprinkled over the seeds. Mixing is done with soil turning the seeds at least 20 times. Soil turning we use for the turning of the seeds at least 20 times. So these are the 5 methods of seed treatment. Seed dressing techniques in pathology. The telic-based formulation with 28 into 10 to the power 6 CFU per gram product of Trichoderma viride is used as a dry seed treatment. 4 gram per kg of the seeds means Trichoderma viride we use 4 gram per kg of the seeds for the control of root rot disease of black gram, green gram, chickpea, groundnut, sunflower and cotton. So seed treatment with Trichoderma viride to control the rotting disease in grams. In rice, we can use the rice blast. To control the rice blast, we can go for seed treatment with Binoil plus Thyrone 2 gram per kg. Binomyl and plus Thyrone 2 gram per kg. Brown spot. Brown spot we can go for seed dressing with organomercurial fungicides. Seed treatment with organomercurial fungicides like Agrocin GN or Thyrone 2 gram per kg of the seeds. So these we use in rice, and first one we use in grams, groundnut and sunflower, Trichoderma viride, and in rice we use in rice blast we use Binomyl plus Thyrone and seed dressing with organomercurial fungicides for control of brown spot in rice. In wheat, the loose smut of wheat, flag smut or the kernel bunt. Loose smut, flag smut or kernel bunt. Vitavex or Bevestin 2 gram per kg. Vitavex or Bevestin 2 gram per kg or Thiobucansolone or we can call as Rexil 2-DS 1 gram per kg of the seeds is used to control the loose smut of wheat, flag smut or kernel bunt. Vitavex or Bevestin 2 gram per kg. In chickpea, Fusarium wilt is the major problem. Fusarium oxysporum, species Sisser. Trichoderma viride or we can call as Bioderma 4 gram plus 1 gram Vitavex per kg of the seeds. So for chickpea, Fusarium wilt, what we have to use? Trichoderma viride we can use, that is called as Bioderma 4 gram plus 1 gram Vitavex. We will mix it and we can go for seed treatment in chickpea to control the Fusarium wilt. Next is mustard. In mustard, Sclerotonia stem rot, Sclerotonia sclerotonia. To control this, we can go for carbendazim 2 gram per kg of the seeds. Sclerotonia stem rot is controlled by carbendazim 2 gram per kg of the seeds in mustard. Vegetable and spices. Potato black scurf, Rhizoctonia solani. The seed treatment with boric acid. Potato black scurf Rhizoctonia solani. Seed treatment with boric acid 3 gram 3%. Spray before cold storage or Trichoderma viride before planting. Common scab. So common scab is controlled by the seed treatment with boric acid 3%. So common scab also we can control by spray of boric acid, and potato black scurf also we can control by the spray of boric acid 3%. 3% boric acid is used to potato black scurf and common scab. Next is in tomato. In tomato, damping off is the major problem. It is mainly caused by the Phytophthora species or Rhizoctonia species. So dry seed treatment with Capton and Thyron 3 gram per kg of the seeds. So for black damping off in tomato, what we have to use? Dry seed treatment with Capton and Thyron 3 gram per kg of the seeds. Second in tomato only, wilt. So wilt is caused by Fusarium oxysporum. So wilt is controlled by seed treatment with Bevestin, 2.5 gram per kg of the seed. So Bevestin we can use 2.5 gram per kg of the seeds to control the wilt disease in tomato. Next is leaf mosaic. It is transmitted by tomato mosaic virus (TMV), tomato mosaic virus. The seed treatment with trisodium phosphate solution 20%. In tomato, we can go for seed treatment with trisodium phosphate solution 20%. Tomato mosaic virus, trisodium phosphate solution. Leaf mosaic is transmitted by the virus. In coriander stem gall. It is seed treatment with Capton and Thyron at the rate of 4 gram per kg of the seed. So 4 gram per kg Capton and Thyron in coriander seed gall. Cumin wilt, Fusarium oxysporum. The seed treatment with Bevestin 2 gram per kg of the seed. In cumin, the Fusarium wilt is the major problem. The Fusarium oxysporum seed treatment with Bevestin 2 gram per kg of seeds. Seed dressing techniques in nematology. The common, the most common systematic nematicides, phenam, phenamiphones, isophenophones, carbosulfone, etc. are used 2 to 3%. A seed dressing with carbosulfone Marshall 25St. Carbosulfone is called as Marshall 25St. 3% is quite effective for managing the RKN root knot nematode in okra, bottlegourd, bittergourd and jute. So root knot nematode in okra, bottlegourd and bittergourd is controlled by carbosulfone Marshall 25St. Rice white-tip nematode. So rice white-tip nematode, the seed treatment with carbosulfone 25 EC, 0.1% for 12 hours. So rice white-tip we can control by seed treatment with carbosulfone 25 EC, 0.1% for 12 hours. Seed dressing techniques in entomology. So sorghum soot fly. Sorghum soot fly, the seed coating with Isopenophos 5G, Isopenophos 5G, 30 gram per 100 grams provides the protection against the soot fly up to 2 weeks. So sorghum soot fly, we can go for seed coating with Isopenophos 5G against the soot fly up to 2 weeks. Wheat termites. The wheat termites, the seed treatment with Chloropyrifos 20 EC 4 ml per kg of the seeds. White termite, wheat termite seed treatment with Chloropyrifos 20 EC. White grub. White grub, the seed treatment of groundnut kernels with Chloropyrifos 20 EC at the rate of 2.5 ml per kg. White grub seed treatment with groundnut kernel with Chloropyrifos. Cotton Jacids. Amrasca bicodella seed treatment of okra with imidacloprid. So cotton acids we can control by seed treatment with okra seeds with imidacloprid. Imidacloprid 20 Ws 5 gram per kg of the seeds. Potato tuber moth. By dusting the seeds potato with 150 gram of elethion and 2% per 100 kg of seeds. that is potato tuber moth, cotton jacids, white grub, wheat termites, and sorghum soot fly. Management of storage pest. The seed treatment, the grain treatment for the seed can be protected by mixing with malathion 5%, 250 gram per quintal of seeds. So malathion we can use to control the storage pest. Malathion 5%, 250 gram per quintal of seeds. Malathion 50 EC, 25 ml per quintal of the seeds. Seed soaking. Seed soaking technique in pathology. The cluster bean. The bacterial leaf blight. Take the 60 gram streptocycline plus 6 kg of seeds, 6 liter of water, 6 gram streptocycline, 6 kg seeds, 6 liter water, dipped for 1 to 2 hours. After that, dry in the shade for 3 to 4 minutes. So that is used in control of bacterial leaf blight. 6 gram streptocycline, 6 gram of seeds and 6 liter of water for 30 to 40 minutes. 1 to 2 hours, after that dry in 30 to 40 minutes. Rice bacterial leaf blight. Rice bacterial leaf blight. Soaking the seeds in agromycin 0.025% for 8 hours and Crenson 0.1%, followed by the hot water treatment for 30 minutes at 52 to 54 degrees centigrade temperature. Rice bacterial leaf blight. Soaking the seeds in agromycin 0.025%. 8 hours. Rice blast. Soak the seeds for 24 hours in 1 gram per liter of carbendazim, 50 Wp, Pavestin and Deathsol prior to the sowing in the nursery. तो राइस ब्लास्ट के लिए क्या कर सकते हैं? सोक द सीड्स 24 hours in 1 gram carbendazim. So rice blast, carbendazim, rice bacterial leaf blight, agromycin, and streptocycline bacterial leaf blight. Seed soaking techniques in nematology. Seed soaking with dimethoate, carbosulfone, Marshall can also be adopted for providing the better crop with early protection against the nematodes. So seed soaking with dimethoate, carbosulfone, Marshall 25 EC can also be adopted. Rice archaean, rice root knot nematode, Meladogani graminicola. The seed soaking with carbosulfone, Marshall 25 EC, 500 ppm and carbosulfone 0.1% for 20 to 12 hours. Rice archaean, seed soaking with carbosulfone and carbosulfone 500 ppm or 0.1% for 12 hours. Rice root nematode. Rice root nematode, the seed soaking with carbosulfone 25 EC or isofenophos 0.2% for 6 hours. Rice cyst nematode, Heterodora coryzicola. Soaking of the seeds with penamifos at the rate of 0.02% for 6 hours. White-tip nematode. White-tip nematode. The practice is widely used for controlling the white-tip nematodes disease in rice in South India. The seeds are dipped in hot water 54 to 55 degrees centigrade for 10 to 15 minutes. So, white-tip nematode, it is controlled by, this is the widely, it is a major problem in South India. So it is a nematodes problem in South India. So it is controlled by, the seeds are dipped in hot water 54 to 55 degrees centigrade for 10 to 15 minutes. Next is Aphanicoides baceyi, also reported on tuberose. Pre-soaking of tuberose in plain water or in 4% of neem seed kernel extract for all night, followed by dipping in monocrotophos 36 SL for 500 ppm for 4 to 6 hours. Root dip treatment. The root dip techniques in pathology. Rice tungro. The seedling should be dipped in carbofuran 25 vegetable powder or 30 gram of carbofuran in 10 liters of water before planting. Rice tungro seedlings should be dipped in carbofuran 25 Wp and 30 gram of carbofuran in 10 liters of water before the planting. Rice blast: the root dip treatment of seedlings immediately after uprooting. Means just after uprooting we will go for root treatment for 12 hours in 0.1% carbendazim vegetable powder 50 vegetable powder solution. Rice blast and rice tungro. Rice tungro, carbofuran and rice blast we can use carbendazim. Root dip technique in nematology: rice root not nematode. Bare root dipping in carbosulfone 500 ppm for 20 minutes. Rice root nematodes: bare root dip treatment with carbosulfone 25 EC, monoprotopass 36 EC 1000 to 2000 ppm for 20 to 30 minutes. Rice root nematodes and rice root dip techniques in entomology. For rice, we can go for paddy gall fly. For gall mills, the endemic areas seedling root dip in 0.02% emulsion of chloropyrifos for 12 hours before transplanting. Protect the crop for 25 to 30 days. Banana banana weevil (Cosmopolite sorediculus). Suckers should be dipped in 0.1% quinophos emulsion before planting. Banana weevil. Banana. Chemical treatment to prevent the germination and vigor potential. Examples like in paddy. So in paddy, the seeds can be soaked in 1% KCl solution for 12 hours to improve the germination and vigor potential. The seeds are soaked in 1% KCl solution for 12 hours to improve the germination and vigor in paddy. Sorghum: the seeds can be soaked in NaCl2 1% or H2PO4 for 12 hours for improving the germination and vigor potential. Pulses: the seeds can be soaked in ZnSO4, MgSO4 and MnSO4 100 ppm solution for 4 hours to improve the germination percentage. Precautions for the seed treatment: never used for animal and human consumption. Means the treated seeds, the seeds which are treated by the chemicals, that seeds will not use for the human consumption. The treated seeds must be properly labeled. If the some seeds which are treated, they have properly, we have to do the labeling of that. The treatment seedling must be properly labeled. Whatever the treated seeds are there, you have to do proper labeling. Care must be taken to treat the seeds at a correct dose. Means we have to take care that we have to treat the seeds at a correct dose. The technique must be economically and practically for the specific crops, and above all the materials should be environmental safely. Means whatever the materials we use for the seed treatment, they are environmentally safely and they not give the any side effects. This is all about the seed treatment. So next topic we will start micro propagation. Micro propagation means propagation. Micro propagation has many synonyms like tissue culture, mass propagation, in vitro culture and cloning. In vitro clonal propagation we can call. Micropropagation is the practice of rapidly multiplication a stock plant material to produce a large number of progeny plants using the modern plant tissue culture methods. So with the help of plant tissue culture methods, we will multiply the plants in a small area for large scale. Widely used for the orchid palms, many interior foliage plants also we can use the plant tissue cultures. Like in banana also we can use the plant tissue culture. The rapid multiplication of the plant material by using the tissue culture. Clone. Clone is a plant population derived from a single individual by asexual reproduction. Clone is a plant population derived from a single individual by asexual reproduction. Clonal propagation is the multiplication of the genetically identical individuals by asexual reproduction. Clonal propagation is the multiplication of the genetically identical individual by the asexual reproduction. So clone is a plant population derived from a single individual. And from single individual we will develop the so many plants. That is called as clone. And clonal propagation means multiplication of genetically identical individual by asexual reproduction. That is called as clonal propagation. Features of micropropagation. The first one is clonal reproduction. Multiplication stage can be recycled many times to produce an unlimited number of clones. Multiplication stage can be recycled many times to produce the unlimited number of clones. Easy to manipulate production cycle. It is easy to manipulate the production cycle. Disease-free plant material can be produced. So in case of clonal propagation, we can develop the disease-free plant material. Disease-free plants we can grow. From the cells, tissue, from the cells, tissue and organs. So rapid multiplication of the plants, we can use the cells, tissue or organs. The cultured commercialization of micropropagation is started in 1970 and 1980s. It is started by the broad commercial application in 1974. So for propagation, we can use the tip bud. Steps for the micropropagation. Step first is establishment. Selection of explant. Sterilization of the explant. Explant means any plant part that we use for the propagation, that is called as explant. Sterilization of the plant tissue culture pellets. So whatever the pellets that we use for the propagation, that we have to go for the sterilization of that pellets. Then establishment of growth media. So we have to prepare the growth media, whatever the media that we use for the multiplication. Proliferation means transfer of the proliferation media. Shoots can be constantly divided. Rooting and hardening. The explant transferred to the root media. Explant returned to the soil. Then we keep the explant into the rooting media. When the roots and shoots will come, then we can organogenesis. Organogenesis via callus formation, direct advantageous organ formation. Either it will form the callus, from that callus the roots will develop and shoots will develop. Embryogenesis, direct embryogenesis or indirect embryogenesis. Microcutting, meristem culture or bud culture. Advantage: form one to many propagules rapidly. Multiplication in controlled lab condition. Multiplication is done in controlled lab condition. Continuous propagation year around, means complete year we will get the propagation. The potential for the disease-free propagules. We can develop the disease-free plants. The inexpensive per plants once establishment. So whatever the plants we develop, if we develop a large scale and large number of plants, it not have so much of expensive. Advantage, disadvantage: the specialized equipments and facilities are required. The more technical expertise are required. The protocols not optimized for all species. Means for the all species, same protocols we not use. The protocols are different for the different species, and technical experts are required. Plant produced may not fit in the industry standards. Relatively expensive to set up. Whatever we set up is very expensive in this. Applications: the rapid increase of stock of new varieties, elimination of disease, we can eliminate the disease, rapid increase of stock of new varieties, cloning of the plant type, not easily propagated by conventional method, means some plants which are not easily propagated by other method, in this that we can go for micropropagation. Propagules have enhanced the growth features like multi-branched characters. So these are the tissue cultured plant. So these are the different steps that we follow in tissue culture. So in this we have to apply the chemicals. Different media we use, like MS media we will use normally, and in explant means any plant part that we use for the propagation materials. From that explant we have to keep in media. After keeping into the media, the callus will develop. Callus means the callus will develop. From that callus we will apply the two hormones, cytokinin and auxin. So cytokinin is mainly used for the development of the shoots, and auxin is used for the development of the roots. The ratio of the cytokinin and auxin is different. If we apply the more quantity of cytokinin, then the more shoots will develop and the roots will develop less. If we apply the more quantity of auxin, then the more roots will develop and less shoots will develop. So it is depends on the ratio between the auxin and cytokinin. So according to that, we have to apply the auxin and cytokinin. Temperature, moisture, and light. If the temperature, it required a normal temperature. If temperature is more, then the plant will not grow in the media. And light is it in sometime it required the dark period and sometime it required the light period. So according to that, we will apply the light period and dark period. We have to maintain the moisture content, means relative humidity we have to maintain in this. These are the labs we use. This is the tissue culture labs. In that we have to develop the plants, and these are the plants. So after development of the plant into a tissue culture, directly we will not show that plant into the field. Why? Because they will not discriminate, because the tissue culture, whatever the plants we grow in tissue culture, there the temperature is less as compared to the outside temperature. And in tissue culture, we are providing the convenient condition for the plants. Means we are applying the nutrients, we will giving the everything we are providing to the plants. everything plants is taking. But outside, if we directly send them into the field, then the plant will die. So after, when the plants will develop in tissue culture, after that we will keep that plant for hardening. So there are two types of hardening: primary hardening and secondary hardening. So primary hardening purpose, just from the tissue culture we will keep the plants into the greenhouse of condition. In greenhouse condition means the plant will not directly exposed to the sunlight. Second, we will apply the water and nutrients we will apply into the greenhouse. After that, second hardening means second time we will send to the plants into the outside to the field. Out in the field only we will keep. Then we will transplant the plant into the field so that the plant will establish into the field easily. If we not go for hardening, then it is very difficult to plant to establish in the field. This is all about the tissue culture. So application I already told you, development of new varieties, elimination of disease. With the tissue culture, we will develop the disease-free plants. Like we are using the only plant parts we are using, like explant we are using. So normally if you use the tip portion, so the disease whatever is there, it will not come to the plants. We are not using the seeds. Some disease which are transferred with the seeds. So that parts we are not using. It is not easily propagated. Some plants which are not easily propagated by the conventional method, like banana. Banana we can't develop by the conventional method. So in banana we will go for tissue culture. So this is all about the today's class. Thank you. Thank you all.